Hello and welcome to the Cutie Art Crusaders, episode 171 for November 3rd, 2015. My name is Rainbow Plasma. I am the host and organizer of the podcast, and today I'm joined by...
Photograph 317. I'm the media manager, and this week the editor for the podcast.
And I'm Atmos Spark. I do questions and DeviantArt and sometimes other stuff.
And I'm SilverRainclouds. I don't do anything important. I'm just here because it's fun.
I mean, you did do something this week.
Yeah, you did.
It's true. It's true. I want to just say before we get into that, I'm really glad, and it's kind of funny how nowadays I swear we have the discussion about who's going to be the editor in the intro every week.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I was thinking about it, and because I was the editor last week. And so I was thinking during my intro, like, oh yeah, I'm not the editor. I was about to say editor. And then it got down to Ted, and I was like, I wonder if he's going to say editor. Because I feel like once you say it, you're committed.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm going to be really busy.
Yeah.
But,
So yeah, speaking something before, we have some special things that you did do, Silver, for us this week. Some very cool things that people might recognize from earlier years, the tradition at least, but you made us all Halloween costumes for avatars, which so far everybody on the screen can see, but we haven't seen yet because you consistently don't let us look at them before we start recording.
That's totally Joel.
I see.
That's him. He's the one that does that.
Oh.
So here they are.
Aww.
So for those of you who aren't aware of the references, do you mind going through each one?
All right. I'll put them in the order I have them, which is alphabetical order.
Do Naz's last.
Yeah. Caramel Curve is Gadget from Rescue Rangers. Is that right? I don't actually know what that is, really. I just made the thing. And then Electroshock is an Inkling from Splatoon, which he actually did the vector for that himself. I made him do it.
I did Ted's one too.
And he did Ted's one too.
Aww. Yay.
And Bright Ember is Velvet from Them Spitin' Herds.
Yay.
And mine, Silver, is Astrid from How to Train Your Dragon, which nobody got ever. Like, everybody I've shown the work in progress to is like, I don't know what this is.
No, I wouldn't have gotten it. I would have said something from Avatar. That's what I would have said.
That's because without her like shirt, you can't really
Can't really tell without her crazy skull shoulder pauldrons.
I also just didn't pay attention much to Astrid in either one of the movies, so
I've seen that movie like 100 times. So
fair enough. So those are all super, super cute. We also have one more that we're going to show off because you put some work into this one, so we wanted to show it off. We were originally planning on having Nazagoring on the show as well, but she encountered some computer difficulties which made her unable to record. But we had a little icon for her, so we'll put that up on the screen right now. This is her as Raichu, right?
yeah, this is Raichu, and her snake as Tyrunt. Tyrunt is her favorite Pokemon. Raichu and Tyrunt are, so
That's cute.
That was the thing there.
That's cute.
She painted a snake.
She painted her snake, yeah.
Well, it's these are all super cute, so thank you so much. I think this is the first time you've been on when we revealed one of your
This is the only one I've ever been on, or any guest whatsoever. Usually it's all four of you.
Right, yeah. Because you usually do the Christmas and the Halloween ones. So first of all, thank you for this year's, but thank you for doing all of them, the ones that you've done so far. So it's very, very nice, and it's always such a nice little gift to get. Man, am I bald though?
Too. Yeah, you're bald.
So bald.
You look worse without the horn, trust me.
It's funny because like you don't really notice it. You were mentioning this to me as you were making it. Like you don't notice how bald Velvet is or how bald all of them fighting Herds characters are until you start making them ponies, and it's like, wait a second.
And they're supposed to be viewed from the side because it's like side by side. Like all of her references are from the side. So when you view her from the front, she looks a little awkward because she was a character that's made in a side-scrolling game.
Right. They didn't really, or they haven't shown like a front reference yet, so it's kind of like up to interpretation right now. That's for sure.
My face is so much smaller than your guys'.
Because you said tall.
I'm taller.
It's because you have the tall ones. I always feel like in every single one of these icon series that Joel has something to do with it that's completely different than everybody else. Like there's been multiple times where you've been like the tallest one or the widest one for some reason.
Yeah, it just turns out that way because I usually have
works
a
out.
prop or something.
Yeah.
Like you had the cone on your head when you were a zombie.
Yeah,
That one
Yeah.
year. So
yeah. I was a Plants vs Zombies zombie.
yeah. We'll have to compile those all together because we still have all those files. So, and I'm sure
Yeah,
you
they're
do
in
too.
in my DeviantArt group, my fan group for you guys. They have their own folder, so you can look at all of them.
Guys, she has a
in their
fan
own
group
folder.
for us.
No.
Okay, so other things to talk about. Ted, you're moving.
Yeah.
When are you moving again?
On the 4th
Okay.
of November.
Okay.
So in a day, actually.
When this
from
comes
when
out,
this airs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking because again, like we hadn't talked about it, so I was like, is he moving on the Tuesday? Or no, it's the Wednesday.
No.
Good.
But that being said, my server is probably going down, so someone's gonna have to stream it on Tuesday.
Dang it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll figure that out, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
I'm sure we will.
Unless you're watching this on YouTube because the stream wasn't up. Ha!
Hey. Oh.
Let's not go there.
Yeah. No. But I do have an apartment that I signed a lease for. So yay.
Yay.
Hooray!
Hopefully that move doesn't take more than a couple days to kind of settle in. I know it's always difficult when you move, but for you it might be more of an ordeal because you've got like furniture and stuff that you have to move as well.
Well, I'm going into temporary housing first for a month.
Okay.
And then into my actual apartment, and the temporary housing is furnished.
Oh, okay, so
So-
you don't have to do that much moving right now. It's kind of like
Yeah.
delaying half of the move.
Which is nice. And there's overlap too. So it's like I can take a couple trips back and forth and whatnot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is the Halloween podcast, so as such, we're going to have some very spooky
2Spoopy.
Shut up. Shut up. I hate you. I hate your guts. I hate your brain. I hate your
Speaking
No,
of
that was
brains.
last year.
Brains
That was
are
last
spoopy.
year.
I hate you.
Last year he was a zombie.
So, we
He
have
was a
some
squid
Halloween
and a
themed
kid.
art, or at the very least, some like dark art, I suppose. Although it's
Yeah.
not really that. It's just it looked Halloweeny. We got some submissions from some people because we asked for some submissions in our last episode. So thank you very much for sending all those in, even if we didn't pick yours. But yeah, so let's jump right into it. Ted, I believe you are the first artiste featurer today.
Yes, I am. The first piece that I would like to feature is called Happy Nightmare Night 2 out of 2 by Kovaliana, and this was sent in to us by Otaku AP. And it is Fluttershy and Angel Bunny, and they are celebrating Nightmare Night, and the colors are fantastic in this.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're so like there needs to be a word for like it's not just fantastic. It's like not only good but also like right in your face.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what it feels like. Because my holy cow,
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, Kovaliana is like amazing at doing these kind of like iridescent type paintings, and they're just so good.
very neon.
It's too shiny to be Halloween.
Well, I think as you mentioned, Kovaliana kind of does that. That's kind of her thing, right? So this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody who's seen her art before. It's quite out there. But as always, it's done in such a way that you can tell that it's a consistent theme, right? It's not just something that's like, oops, didn't know what I was doing with colors. Like,
Yeah.
obviously she knows exactly what she's doing with colors, and she just has chosen to make these all pop in a very bright way.
Yeah, I think we've talked about that before. It's like I think we all kind of enjoy when artists use colors like really vivid colors, like in this piece, in really good and choice ways, because it makes the piece pop and stand out and sparkle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that's really interesting about this piece is if you look at the background, there's just like some serious warping going on. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like a fisheye lens in a way. There's a huge amount of curvature.
Yeah.
Like I'm not
Only in
sure.
the background though.
Yeah.
Like
What?
Fluttershy
Yeah, the
herself
foreground's
isn't,
not.
Yeah. It's just the background. You're right. The foreground isn't warped at all. It's just the background. I was confused there for a second at what you were saying.
Yeah, no, I think it like it gives the piece kind of this atmosphere, because the foreground is not warped, but the background is, and it's all like monotone in the background.
Yeah, I mean, it gives a sense that it's like the walls are surrounding her in a way. It looks less like there's, just a skyline and more that there's like walls, almost like castle walls in a way. I don't think that's the intention. I think it's meant to be more ground with houses coming out of it, but it gives this sense of these walls that are surrounding her. It's a really weird vibe that it gives off.
Well, and then you've got these like I think they're clouds that are orange and red and stuff like that as well, and it all just kind of pulls the piece together, and it gives it almost like a 2Spooky vibe, or sorry, 2Spoopy vibe.
Oh my god!
You got to use the right pronunciation.
You're gonna hate all of us by the end of this. Sorry.
By the end, sorry. Silver, the person I don't hate. Go ahead.
But
what do
I
you
like Angel Bunny's costume.
Oh yeah.
It looks like and it looks like she's in a castle courtyard. That was the first thing that I came to. But I like Angel Bunny's costume. I think that's cute.
What is it even?
He's one of the knights from the White Bunny scene in what's it called, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Isn't that
Oh,
it?
really?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm pretty
cool.
sure that's what that is. I see that costume a lot at conventions and stuff. I haven't seen that movie that many times, but I've seen that costume a lot at conventions, and I think that's
He's
what
King
that
Arthur or
sun
something,
logo
I think.
is. Yeah, is the King Arthur and his round Knights of the Round. When they fight
That
the
is
killer
such
bunny.
that's such a reference that just snuck in there, right? I didn't even notice.
I always notice stuff like that. That's I'm always like, oh, look at this weird little obscure tiny thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you break the whole. We talk a lot about artists who put in a lot of effort in order to manipulate your eye to a certain place without you even knowing it, and I feel like you're the perfect person to break that. Like you immediately are like, forget that. What else is going on?
She does that in the show too. She notices every single background character.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's the plot again?
Who are the main six?
Yeah. I think what you were saying about it feeling like a courtyard, that's exactly the same vibe that I got. And I think what it kind of brings, not only with the manipulation, but also the coloring, the value, the fact it's just black, the clouds and then their strange color and all of this stuff together, it kind of puts you at, it gives you a sense of unease. Things aren't right. You're getting fooled. At first, you think it's one way, but then you get evidence that it's another way, and you keep going back and forth, and it kind of gives that vibe of like, what's going on? Things are happening that I don't really understand, and I think that works really well in terms of like a Halloween theme. It's the uneasiness of Halloween.
Yeah. But it's so bright, and Fluttershy is so cute and adorable and kawaii.
Yeah, but in a way, that can also contribute to unease as well, right? Because normally when we view things that are like brighter, we're more okay with them, right? Because as humans, we are naturally scared of the dark, at least a little bit, because there could be stuff hiding in the dark, like predators. Here, it's like, yes, she's in the light, but it's like there's too much. There's something unnatural about it, and that again gives the sense of unease, which combined with everything else kind of fits the theme of the piece.
So do you think she like every Halloween or Nightmare Night she like bites into apples and becomes
Gives them a fright?
Flutterbat? Oh, I missed a rhyme there.
I don't really know because they keep bringing up Flutterbat like with cameos.
Yeah,
but
it's never like canon
real
real
life.
world stuff. It's all dreams or.
Yeah, but like what about the end of the
dream.
Flutterbat episode? Wasn't it like, oh, she could still be it?
yeah.
No.
I want to see an actual
She had her
return.
fang still.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was actually talking. I don't remember who I was talking to the other day, but I was talking to someone about the show in general, and we were talking about the fact that the person I was talking to was like, "Oh, Flutterbat seems to come up so often in art," and for me, I'm like, I want to see more because I don't feel like I've had my fill of her in the show, and until it comes out in the show, I'm not going to have the fill of her. So until then, I'm just like filling up on all of the art that I can get. So Halloween's a perfect time because that's when everybody does a Flutterbat piece.
Yeah.
No, everyone does a Luna piece.
You guys, yeah, that's true. You guys sent me a whole bunch of Flutterbat prints. Like half of the prints that we got from you guys from BronyCon were of Flutterbat.
Oh,
See, that was my fault last year because like I think I bought you like 3 Flutterbat ones, and it wasn't because they were Flutterbat. It was just because it was like, this looks good. This looks good.
Yeah, it's interesting, like what choices you guys. I get a lot of Celestias and Flutterbats from you guys, and I don't think that's intentional. You might even be surprised to hear that.
I'm surprised to hear the Celestia thing. I don't think I've ever sent you one, or at least I don't remember doing it.
Yeah, it's a Celestia. She's really pretty in art though. Like some of the best pieces of MLP art are of Celestia because she's got the long flowing mane and the beautiful white feathers and all that.
The giant horn.
Yeah.
And the wings.
The
yeah.
wings.
Joel has horn envy.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Well,
I have
you
wing
know,
envy.
Other people.
I told
other
you,
people
man,
in
it's
the
not
chat-
me. It's
I
him.
don't have horn envy. I have wing envy.
I almost drew you without your horn because the deer that you wanted to be doesn't have one, and then I was gonna make a subtle joke about it, but it ended up looking better with the horn anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't make it like super long.
Thanks, guys.
Guys, look at the bee. There's a bee in the
I
picture.
know, I like the bee.
There
It's
is a
really
bee
cute.
in the
It's
picture.
so bright and it's green and blue and stuff. It's not the colors a bee should be.
Angel's
Yeah.
telling it to go away.
It is.
Go away.
I literally cannot see what the heck you're talking about.
It's on the end of the candy.
On the end of the candy cane.
Yeah.
Candy cane?
What looks like
The-
a
In
candy
her
cane.
bucket of candy.
The popper.
Oh,
The
like,
candy
okay.
popper,
When I think of candy cane, I
cane
think
or
like
whatever.
red and white stripes.
Yeah.
Or
No,
is
that's
it white
definitely
and
a bee.
red stripes?
It's
But
getting
okay,
more existential in here.
I see what you mean now. I see what you mean.
It's a
yes.
bee.
There's a bee.
I
Yeah.
don't know why there's a bee there, but there's a bee there.
I don't know. It's something.
It's there
I
'cause
wount
it
have
makes you
noticed it.
It does make me happy. I also like
Maybe
the
it's-
kitty pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe the bee is stealing the candy.
I don't know.
And Angel's like
so anyways,
upset with it.
we have to move on from this piece. And I wanted to move on in such a way that we're talking about Flutterbat because, as you mentioned, there are popular characters around Halloween, and I guess some characters are just more frightening or more Halloween themed or more scary than others. Flutterbat being one of them, but the other one that you mentioned was Luna. And my piece, which was submitted by Kira25, I think that's the numbers that come after his name. I just guessed.
It's 25.
Yeah, and this is called The Eclipse by Turnipberry. And the other one is Luna, of course. Luna is incredibly popular, or specifically Nightmare Moon, I suppose, is incredibly popular around Halloween, probably due to a combination of her color scheme, her backstory, and the fact that she appeared prominently in the Nightmare
Also,
Night
Nightmare Night
episode.
is named after her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of associations there. And this one was great because when it was linked to me, I immediately looked at that and went, this is like the best. It might not even be Halloween themed, but it's just like it's got that kind of like really scary vibe to it. And I think it comes from the way that the character is depicted.
Well, those wings, like, shudder. They're so well done and so detailed, and like the semi-translucent parts of them, especially with all the rips and tears and stuff, are like, I don't know. It's very like ominous and spooky and
Spoopy.
There's something that, like, I'm not sure if anybody else gets this, but when I see things like bat wings, where you've got this like really thin material that you can see through, kind of, there's something about that just is like it's off-putting to me.
It's
know,
creepy. It's see-through skin. It's real thin, leathery.
They're so soft.
What, the bat wings or the bat's faces?
Bats are
so
cute.
soft.
Yeah,
I
most
don't
of them
know.
are, not the teeth.
like just the wing membrane that bats specifically have. There's something about them that's just like is really creepy. And then you add in tears in it, which is just like you can imagine that happening to you, and it's like, ugh. We've got webbing in our like hands and feet. Ooh. So it's just like there's so many things just within the wings themselves that immediately give off like a creepy or scary vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's completely translucent. You can see the outlines of the clouds behind them through the wings.
Well,
And
it's
then
not
the subsurface
completely
scattering.
translucent.
I mean, it's not 100%, but you can see through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's not just the wings, but also, the rest of the anatomy, the face, which if you zoom in on is quite menacing. This really long horn. Funny that we should talk about that.
Hey.
It's very long and sharp. It looks like a blade. It's coming out of the forehead. So
Looks like Sombra's horn.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that are quite intimidating about this piece, that are quite frightening and kind of scary about this piece. And I thought it was such a perfect piece for this episode.
And her hair and tail. Like, they look like the clouds.
Yeah, they're interesting because it's not just that they look like the clouds, but they seem to be the clouds in a way.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I almost see Celestia in the white clouds that are kind of coming off of this. I don't know if that's the moon or
Eclipse.
It's an eclipse,
yeah.
so it's the moon
Called
going
the
in front of the
eclipse.
sun.
Oh yeah.
So it makes sense if you see Celestia.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like Celestia versus Luna, Nightmare Moon kind of dueling.
And then Luna's
cloud
winning
colors.
for 2 minutes while the moon's in front of the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Night
I don't
shall last
remember.
for 2 minutes.
I don't remember. Has there been an episode in the 5 seasons where a lunar eclipse has happened and someone's gained power over it?
No.
No, that was Avatar.
That was
I
Avatar.
see. Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a kind of common thing in like fantasy, like adventure shows
Yeah.
that happens.
Like that,
Yeah.
like that show, The Heroes. The heroes all get their power after an eclipse. Maybe that's what you're
Right.
thinking.
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
So I
Or
wouldn't
Little Shop of
be
Horrors.
surprised if at some point they pulled something like that in MLP.
I would like to see them pull an eclipse and have Nightmare Moon and Flutterbat both resurface.
that would be interesting.
I mean, it did happen with the Tempest, right?
Technically, yeah. So you were mentioning the kind of dichotomy of Celestia versus Luna, and mostly Luna in this piece. But the thing that really stands out when you talk about Celestia and Luna is sun and moon, orange and blue. As we always mention, the contrasting colors are like the only two colors in this piece. Yes, there's variations on them, but for the most part, it's overpoweringly blue and orange.
Yeah.
So it does. I think contrasting colors often give that sense of a fight, because they kind of battle each other for prominence on the screen. And so I could definitely see the kind of parallels between the colors fighting on the screen and the characters perhaps fighting in your mind in the way that you depict this particular scene.
Yeah. It's interesting the way that this piece was laid out with the sun behind Luna, or Nightmare Moon, and she's like basically all silhouetted, but there is like kind of light coming from all the nebulae hair stuff around her, so it's like a purplish glow to it.
Right.
It's interesting. It's kind of a dichotomy of lighting colors on Luna herself too.
Yeah, and mentioning the background too, that there's a sense of depth as well that you get. And part of that comes from kind of the spiraling that the clouds are doing as it moves. You can see the layering of the clouds, especially on the right-hand side to the right of the sun. You can see that there's these layers of clouds going back and back, and as they go back, they blur. And especially when you look at the contrast between Nightmare Moon, who's not blurred at all, and then the thing directly behind it, which is very, very blurred. It does accurately convey a sense of depth there, that the sun is quite far away behind a bunch of layers of clouds.
Yeah. I really like how Nightmare Moon's wings are depicted in this as well. Not even just like the translucent parts, but like if you zoom in and you look at the parts that are in shadow, it's like very detailed individual feathers and stuff like that, very well rendered.
Well, it's an interesting piece of anatomy, right? Like I imagine, Silver, you'd be quite interested in seeing something like this, because I don't remember seeing wings that are a combination of bat wings and bird wings.
I was actually going to say it's a very common trope in fantasy art.
Really? Well, I don't see it that
not really
often
with
in
pony so much. It's not really a thing with pony so much, but like fantasy creatures and dragons and stuff often have like wings that are feathered halfway down. It's very interesting it's interesting to think of how that would actually work anatomically. And then
Yeah.
and then if you look at Nightmare Moon in the show, it kind of implies that her wings are that way because her wings aren't feathered at the ends. They're just kind of like a pointy swirl. So it's I really like this interpretation of what we have of just the cartoon.
Yeah. What was there must have been a scene where her wings unfurled. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you're right. There is a very interesting look to. I'd forgotten what Nightmare Moon looks like because we haven't seen too much of her in the show. But yeah, it is a very interesting wing style where there are some feathers, but then the ends of it, you're right, are kind of like bats' wings. They're not like bats. There's not bats on the end of her wing. That would be weird.
Although that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I hadn't really noticed that before. That's a good eye.
I told you.
Yeah, once again.
The subtle things. I'm also really happy that we got to feature, and I was told about this artist in particular because I really enjoy featuring new artists. And not to say that this artist is new, they're not, but they're new to me. I've never seen this artist's works before, and to be introduced to an artist with this kind of piece is kind of like it's a good first step, you know. Put the foot in the door and start your first impression well, right? And this is quite the one to start in. So I look forward to seeing more of this artist's work.
She does one of my favorite pony pieces. I presume I don't know why I always presume she. But the one with Fluttershy and the Hurricane is one of my very favorite pony pieces altogether.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm surprised to know that you guys are like, I've never heard of this artist before because I'm like, oh man, this is one of my favorites.
There's always someone. That's how it ends up working out, right? Like there's always something that happens where there's so many artists out there. It's impossible for us to always catch every single one. So, and especially when you try to translate it to everyone, right? So perhaps maybe I haven't seen it, but maybe Bernd has been watching this person for a long time and just hasn't brought them up for the show, or maybe Ted has been watching this person for a while. So it's difficult to always keep up, and there's new artists every single week. You know, it seems like we constantly run into so many artists that will just have started making art within like the last couple of months and been making progress, and it's like, wow, you came out of nowhere. So
yeah,
well, it's a great piece. I really enjoy it, and people should definitely go check out this person's gallery, because if you're like me and have never seen it before, then there's some really awesome stuff in here as I'm looking through. But we should move on to the next piece, which I don't know who
It's
that
mine.
is. It's yours.
It's me, guys. It's my piece. I'm going to talk about this one. It's called Peace at Last by Silpho, I think.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We met Silpho at BronyCon.
Yeah.
She was the table mate of Assassin Monkey.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is one by her. It's still a Luna, but it's a sleepy Luna, being all sleepy and peaceful.
And adorable.
It's a Luna. Are you surprised? There's always a Luna. Doesn't even need to be Halloween. People draw Luna.
There's an obligatory Luna every episode.
Yeah, we have to meet our Luna quota for the day.
Anyway, this is the one that I picked. It's all opposite of the last one. I mean, it's still at night, but it's brightly lit, and it's, instead of orange, it's pink and blue, and
right. Well, and it's obviously the tone of the piece is completely different from the last one, right?
Yes.
The last one was very confrontational, and this one's a lot more serene.
She's
was
all
this
sleepy.
Was this was based off of the end of the Tantipus episode, correct?
I mean, it looks like it.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that episode, so I keep forgetting like certain scenes from it, but I'm pretty sure at the end she had a little snooze under a beautiful looking flower, and I believe
also the description of the art does say that.
Ah, okay. Well, you know I can't read, Joel. Stop shoving it in my face.
I mean, I can't really blame you. It's the Canadian school system, right?
I know, right? Oh, man, we should have never learned from those Australians. It was just a nightmare.
Wait.
So, art piece. What do you like about it, Joel?
It's all smooth and serene, and it's calming and relaxing, and it's A big bad pony being sleepy.
Is she a big bad pony?
Well, she was in the episode. She made the tentacles.
I guess so, but I don't think she was bad. I think she made a mistake.
She's definitely big.
Wow.
Wow.
She is all the other ponies except for Celestia. And I guess Turek, but he's not really a pony.
So
no.
You still want to date him, Silver?
She doesn't have a choice.
Oh man, why would you say that on microphone? You're now quoted. You're quoted on the internet with "She doesn't have a choice."
Oh, I have a choice. I like him. He may not be articulate, but he's very sweet.
Aww.
Like this piece. It's very sweet.
Hey.
Yeah, I really enjoy having. I really like the fact that we had these two pieces back to back because, like you said, they're very opposite to each other. They're so different in terms of just tone and colors and everything that sets the tone in the piece. You know, where in last piece we had, for example, contrasting colors to give a sense of, a clash, a conflict. Here we have very analogous colors. We have kind of purples and blues, which go together really, really well, and they mix together. And there's no conflict here. There's no contrasting colors. It's just nice colors. It's all cool colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last one was 2Spoopy. This one's not.
Yeah. This one's not spoopy at all.
Yeah. Please go on.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I like the reflected lighting in this piece, especially from like the flower, all the pinks and purples and stuff reflecting off of Luna's mane and her fur and wing and tail and stuff. It's.
I
Really
want to
relaxing.
be where she is right now.
Mhm.
I want to be
Yeah.
sleeping like on that little piece of dirt.
I mean, she looks comfy herself. You could just be sleeping on her.
Did she crush a flower? Is she sleeping on a flower?
I think she is.
Something like that. Look, sometimes you have to crack a few eggs, okay?
like.
I thought when you mentioned the reflective lighting, I thought you were going to mention the literal reflections of, for example, the water coming off and kind of coming up onto the shore and her hoof down below her head.
Yeah.
Like those are super cool to me. We don't see those a lot. When people depict water and lighting on water, they usually try to focus on the water itself, but they don't treat water as a surface that will also reflect light.
Yeah.
And it seems to be done really well, and it's something that I just don't see enough of. And it's something that you don't notice if it's not there, but the second it is there, you're like, oh yeah, that's totally how that works.
Right. I mean, it makes it feel, again, more calm and serene than it would without it. However,
Yeah.
technically, they shouldn't be there. There's no light there for them to reflect like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's in shadow.
Although, I mean,
But,
maybe
I mean,
it's
that
her.
comes back to that question we had last week, technical versus style.
Yeah.
Look, and also, look, don't judge Luna. Sometimes she likes to sleep with a mirror just off screen so that she can look at herself because she's very vain. But that's okay. Everybody has their flaws, okay? No need to point them out.
But you say you sleep with a mirror.
Yeah, something like that. Look, okay? Don't judge me. I'm a beautiful person, and I feel like I should share that with myself as much as possible.
But not with the world, just
No,
yourself.
absolutely not.
See, to me, it looks like Luna's mane is kind of melting in the water.
I was gonna.
And so, like, those stars could either be reflections of the night sky, or they could just be, like, her hair stars that are kind of, like, disintegrating in a way.
Oh, geez.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it gives her hair a real sort of smoky feel. Like it just the
Yeah.
smoke is blending into the water.
It's an interesting concept to think about when you think about the fact that she has stars in her mane, but the second you start depicting it as something like hair with individual strands, like, what are the stars then? Are they like little bits of things in her hair?
Little
Or is it just an
shiny
illusion
specks.
that's given off?
She has dandruff, actually.
Standard.
Really,
tinsel.
really bad dandruff.
In all of the toys, it's tinsel. It's tinsel.
Aw.
She just sticks tinsel in her hair. It's like, Luna, one day you're gonna have to stop doing this. And she's like, it's pretty. Shut up.
I'm a pretty princess.
Well, when you're mentioning hair, I also wanted to point out the tail that seems to be converting into the night sky in a weird wispy way. And so this piece has got like the hair does so many different things. It's got like a hairy vibe if you look to the right and to the left of her face. There are strands coming off the back of her neck, and also on the right hand side there's obvious like lines to denote separations of hairs. But then, as you mentioned, there's hair in the water that's got like a watery feel, and then her tail is so like wispy and airy, and it fades into the night sky. And so the hair is doing a lot of things in this piece.
Luna's hair always becomes the sky. Like in like all of Luna's fan art, it's like, I'm gonna draw her hair becoming the night sky. It was like that in the last piece too.
Yeah,
Well, it's the same often with the water too. It's usually smoke and water.
Yeah.
Fire.
Are you gonna play us a song, Joel?
I was thinking about it.
Has it become a trope now to
It just looks
associate?
good.
Like,
I mean,
Yeah, it's just pretty.
yeah, I suppose so.
and it works with Luna being the night.
There's a
Also,
part
I
of me
figured
that's
out
kind of
what the
hipstery
sparkles
now.
in her hair are. It's that flower dripping down.
Yeah.
But like,
Maybe-
her hair is sparkly normally.
No,
Yeah.
maybe she's recharging her sparkles.
Exactly.
Ah, I see.
Then
Yeah.
It's an indication of how much battery she's got left.
I see. And this is one of those newfangled wireless charge stations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like where you put your phone
The
down.
electricity straight onto you.
yeah. No, that makes sense. It makes total sense.
That makes this piece not serene at all because she's about to get electrocuted.
She's actually being electrocuted as we speak. That serene look is actually a facial reaction to 9,000
Wow.
amps running through her.
Jeez.
It's a lot of amps.
Yeah.
Halfway through that, I was like, darn it, there's an actual electrician in the call. I'm going to have to make up a number that'll actually sound good. But yeah, I really enjoy the serene feel for that. You know, you can tell just with everything that's going on, the colors, the way the hair is depicted, her facial expression, her pose, everything is so at odds with the last piece and how serene it is. And so it's very nice.
I want
I
one of
enjoy
those
that.
funky flowers in the water. Like
In the water, yeah.
Yeah.
I want the big one as like a nightlight. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
You know, just go to the Avatar world and
Pandora.
Hook
The
up to a
world is
planet
called
and-
Pandora.
Oh yeah, that.
I'm getting so confused because we mentioned Avatar like the last
Other-
Airbender.
Yeah, no, not the last
I was
Airbender,
confused
the
These
other
too,
one.
references
it's
are
okay.
insane.
It's the big blue people avatar.
The blue people one.
Okay,
Yeah,
the big blue people. I get
the
it.
one where Luna would fit right in because she's big and blue.
Yeah, but I don't want to like connect with the flowers. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to have to like stick
Yeah.
things into flowers. So maybe I'll pass. Maybe I'll go with the pony world. Maybe I'll
Okay.
go with the pony world. All right, so we have one more piece that we want to get to, and that is Silver's piece. So why don't you introduce it?
Mine is an old one. It's called Giggling at the Ghosties by Nobin.
1st of July 2013.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
it's older. So I just went through like some of the older pieces that I liked, and I thought I'd drag this one up.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also the first one that isn't anything to do with Flutterbat or Luna.
Luna.
So
Yeah, it's
they
actually
didn't
not
exist
even.
yet.
It's not Halloween related either. But I thought it was kind of like spooky trees and stuff that would work out.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the scene itself was very spooky, right? Like, it was a very scary scene, and then, obviously, that's where Pinkie Pie came in with her song, so
Mm-hmm.
I think it fits perfectly.
All right, great.
I think the tree is spoopy enough for this piece.
Yeah.
Or for this theme, yes.
Have you ever
Sorry.
seen that picture on the internet where it's like, there's like an ocean, and there's a dolphin sticking out, and there's a rainbow, and the text says, "I want to die"?
No, but I've seen stuff similar. I'll subreddit for it.
So what I was going to mention was, while the trees might be spooky in general, the scene itself isn't very scary because of one thing. I mean, there's lots of things in particular, but the one thing that I noticed stood out to me was that the background behind the trees was very well lit. And again, when we see well lit things, usually that's less scary than dark things. If the forest was dark and black and that would be scarier to me than what seems to be a lot of light coming through. It's almost like it's there and it's brought in by Pinkie, right? Because what it's showing right now is Pinkie Pie pushing away the darkness. It was just interesting to me because this piece itself isn't scary. The scene that it's talking about was, right? It was supposed to feel that way, but like this particular art piece doesn't feel very scary to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's like half and half because like the part of this, like they walk into this part of the trees where everything's all dark, but they're walking away from something where it was brighter. So they're walking into the darkness where it's supposed to be scary. I mean, overall, it's not scary because it's very bright and pretty. But the characters are scared, and right.
That's a good point.
I mean, Pinky's not, but
Yeah, no, Pinky.
And she terrifies me.
She's not scared. She's scary.
Yeah, no, she scares me more than the trees.
I like the music notes. They're cute.
yeah.
Yeah, like the visual depiction of the song that's going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pinky's more detailed than everybody else too, because she's sprung up into the spotlight, so she's got more detail in her shading and stuff. Whereas everybody else is kind of like second thoughted.
It's got like they've got like an overlay over them, and the light is affecting them more. Whereas the spotlight is definitely on her, that orangey light on the right hand side. I was gonna wait until later, but I'm gonna bring it up because I got to look at the faces. The faces are great.
I know.
That's my
I
favorite
always
part,
love Nobin's
yeah.
faces. They're
Yeah.
so good. Like Nobin seems to do such great work with her faces. You know, like it's just I love it. It's great.
Yeah, the facial expressions are all so good.
They
I love,
seem to
like-
convey such emotion behind them, you know, and like,
Yeah.
and again, such a way. I think I talked about this at some point. You know, facial expressions sometimes can be taken to extremes for cartoons, right? But Nobin is one of those people who stretches the limits while still keeping it realistic and relatable. You know, all of these faces they don't strike me as like crazy cartoon face, maybe other than Pinky's, but they don't stand out like that. They just seem like within realistic bounds. And to me, I really like that when it pushes the boundaries but it still manages to stay inside something that I could actually see someone kind of making that face.
I don't know. I really like over-exaggerated expressions, especially in the characters that seems like Pinky.
Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah. I really like Twilight and Rarity's expressions in this.
Yeah.
They're just like exasperated at what's going on.
Yeah. I think each one has its own little fun thing to it, right? Like Applejack and Fluttershy are great in the back with their individual different scared expressions looking at the tree. You know, Rainbow Dash has this like, what is going on? I'm not scared, but like, what is going on here? And Twilight's just like,
I'm scared of a Pinkie Pie type look.
Yeah.
And yeah, Twilight's just like, it's like, what is happening with my life, basically, which really is
Horn is
accurate
so
to how the episode was going.
Yeah.
Thick Twilight's horn is.
Yeah.
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 Are you jealous or?
Guys, this episode was really focused on horns, and it's making me uncomfortable.
This is before Twilight had wings. Look, it's not even Princess Twilight.
I know.
That's true. I often forget that, but she at some point was a unicorn.
Yeah.
I guess she still has been a unicorn longer than she hasn't been an alicorn as long as she was a unicorn. But I don't know. It's just it's recent, right? So
It was like 2
It's
years
getting
ago.
it's getting close though. It was like the end of season 3, wasn't it? We're into 5
yeah, it was.
now.
So
Yeah.
halfway
Hasn't-
into season
yeah.
6
It
is
was
going to
2 years
be.
ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. She's grown up so fast.
I still don't understand like what her princess duties are besides like sending her friends off to go spread friendship or whatever.
Look, sometime someone has to do the royal dishes, okay, Ted?
She's
So,
an ambassador.
she's
Yeah.
a princess of books.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anything else that stands out to you guys with this piece?
I just want to say really quick, on the note of like Pinky being more detailed, so are the trees that are in the foreground, but like it gets less detailed into the background. That's like to create perspective, and it's like the ponies have been included in that. They've just become less detailed as they're pushed into the background, like the trees.
Right.
And more overcome with atmospheric perspective.
Because everything else is really detailed. Like the grass gets less detailed. There's even like little bits of grass underneath Pinky's feet and everything. Like
Yeah.
everything gets less and less detailed. Like Fluttershy is even less detailed than Twilight because she's further back.
And she's more washed out.
Yeah,
More
it seems
overcome with
like
the
there's a
movements.
variety of different things that go into, we talk about providing depth cues, right? And blurring, atmospheric perspective, changes in value. All of these things can signify a change in depth. And it seems like in this piece, there's a number of them, right? Like it's none of them are done crazy overtly, but there seems to be this sense that like there's like 3 or 4 things that are done in small amounts, and overall that gives the sense of depth.
Yep.
Cool.
I agree.
All right. Well, that is our art for this week. So we're going to move on to the questions.
Hey, that's a me thing.
The very
Yay.
scary questions aren't
Spoopy.
scary. The questions aren't scary at all.
I mean, maybe. I asked them, so.
Yeah, you terrify
This is
me.
true. Oh my god. Whatsoever, what shall we do?
Right?
Ted, have you ever thought about going into acting? Yes, no?
No.
Good. Don't.
What did my acting scare you?
No, it was too good.
Oh, mm-hmm.
All right. What's
Okay,
the
well, I'm going to
questions?
ask the questions anyway. First question. What is your opinion on the supernatural? So, for example, ghosts, monsters, and etc. I don't know what a monster is, but... And do you maybe have an equestrian ghost story you would share with us?
I'm going to take that silence as no. Nobody has an equestrian ghost story to share with us.
I feel like it
No.
would. We don't have the time to tell a whole story. Maybe we can write in make a spoiler cast ghost stories or something.
Oh.
Well, personally, my opinion on the supernatural, ghosts, monsters, that kind of thing, they don't exist. That's all I'm going to say about it. Don't believe in that stuff.
I think the stories that people come up with are a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm in the same boat.
I don't like being scared, so I don't even like those.
I like the fun, like the parody stories of like Scooby Doo kind of stuff, where it's like, you know,
Right. Okay.
What if
if
That's,
it wasn't for you
you
meddling kids and your Yeah.
you came up with a good example. I like Scooby Doo, so fair enough. Fair
Mhm.
enough. But yeah, like no ghosts, monsters. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not my thing. You know what? It like honestly, if I'm being perfectly honest, Halloween's not really my thing in general. Because like I'm too lazy to dress up. I hate being scared. I hate it. So like I just kind of avoid stuff around Halloween. It's not my favorite holiday.
How about you, Phil? Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, ish.
Ish. Yeah, I'm kind of on the ish end too. It's not necessarily that I believe in ghosts as in the movie trope, but I believe that
It's an energy thing.
that there's like my spiritual beliefs are that there's an energy in the world. Like everybody has energy in them and everything has energy in them. And sometimes when people feel this energy, they get afraid, and then that's what a ghost is. That's where the ghost stories come from. People feel this energy or this like spiritual uncomfortableness for some reason or another, and they personify it as a ghost or a monster. So that's so I don't really believe in ghosts, I guess, by that definition. But
You
I
don't
do
believe, you don't
believe
believe like
Actually-
a white sheet drifting through the air with
in
chains and moaning.
no, I don't believe in people's spirits staying behind as ghosts.
Joel,
or any of that stuff,
you
so.
know now you have to dress up in a white sheet. And,
I've done that.
and-
I did that last year for Halloween.
Joel did a white sheet ghost for Halloween last year.
But I put a meat twist on it. I had a scissor sticking out of my eye.
Yeah, he had scissors sticking out of his eye like he was cutting the eye holes with the sheet, and he stabbed himself in the eye.
Oh.
It's actually pretty
kinda
clever.
funny.
That's pretty clever. I like that.
So I actually have a story about it's kind of like a research story about that whole feeling of like afraidness and stuff. They did some research, and there's like certain frequencies that like the air can like vibrates at that will resonate with like I can't remember. It's like some thing in people's brains, and that causes you to like be scared or like feel uncomfortable. And so like there was like a church somewhere, and I can't I would look it up. It's been a long time since I've seen the story, but there was this church somewhere, and like people who would go into the basement would come over with like dread, and like it was like a whole big thing. Like they were like, oh, it's haunted or whatever. And it turns out that like their heating system was causing like sending out vibrations at this low frequency that was causing people to like become afraid. And as soon as they shut it off, it's like people would go down to the basement and it was no problem.
That's
So
that's interesting.
yeah.
Then again, though, you're talking about like a church basement. Churches, when they're empty, are like
Yeah.
the scariest thing.
Super creepy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then the cat runs
There's
across the organ.
like there's something about not only because it's a big empty place with a bunch of like depictions of with like stained glass maybe, or an altar, but there's also they're often built in such a way that the acoustics of it are just like creepy and hollow when it's empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're made so that you can hear the preacher. So it's made to hear somebody without their voices amplified when there's
Yeah.
a room full of people. When there's not a room
Yeah.
full of people, everything gets amplified and it's just weird.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's like
Everything echoes.
a loud type of quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very loud quiet. It doesn't make any sense, but if you've been in that situation, you'll know
It's a
exactly
deafening
what I mean.
silence.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I think that's that question answered.
Okay, the next one is. Did I say who it was? One that was from Solid Books, by the way. Next one is, out of all four of you, who is the most wacky, silly, crazy pony by South Williams? I think is the name he likes.
It's Joel.
It's Joel.
It's me.
It's totally Joel.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's many definitions for like the wacky and crazy are not the same thing,
Yeah.
and silly
I mean,
and,
I've
and
seen
wacky
wacky
are the
races.
same thing, right? So, was that the thing just for like Canada and Australia?
I don't know.
Because
Do you know what the wacky races are?
No.
Okay.
yeah, I know what
It
they
was an old Hanna-Barbera cartoon. I think.
they would come on Sundays.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd tape them and then go to church and then come back and watch them.
Huh?
They're really good.
Was that
I
Dick,
know what
was
that is.
Dick Dastardly?
Yeah, and his dog.
And Penelope?
All right. Anyways, so weird bonding session there. So I was gonna look up the definitions of these words. We were gonna do that, weren't we, Ted? Look up the
Sure.
definitions of wacky and stuff.
Oh yeah, we totally were actually.
All right. So wacky is funny or amusing in a slightly odd or peculiar way.
Yep,
Yeah,
Joel.
I don't know, amusing to some people, right?
I don't know. It's not very amusing to me.
I mean, I know I don't appeal to a Canadian sense of humor, but
Okay, wait. Okay, so silly, the first definition I get is having or showing a lack of common sense or judgment, absurd and foolish.
Still Joel.
And let's look up crazy. Why does Google not give me a definition for crazy?
because they're the same thing.
Mentally deranged, demented, insane.
Oh.
Still Joel.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't.
Burned.
Mentally deranged. I mean, I do like ponies.
So okay, so this is an actual interesting one because like we would have to pick which one of us is the most like mentally deranged. I'm trying to look at the other definitions as well.
Burn's not here to defend himself.
See, but
so,
like you were saying in
yeah.
the beginning of the episode, or not the beginning of the episode, before we were recording the episode, sorry, you were saying some words lose their meaning over time. Like idiot
Right.
no longer means the stupidest of the stupid. It just means somebody who's done something kind of dumb. So,
Alright.
like in
So
that
there's-
way, like crazy is kind of in that way. It doesn't mean somebody who's literally insane. It's much more close to silly in the way that people usually use it.
So
Yeah.
there's a couple of informal definitions below, which will probably be more accurate, and one of them is unusual, bizarre.
Yeah.
We need the Urban Dictionary definitions.
Oh no.
But the other thing is when you think of unusual or bizarre, right? When you think of usual, that's that's in the eye of the beholder, right? Like, I think there's lots of people in the world who would consider us all crazy, but to us, that's the interesting thing, right? Like, what is
It's all
crazy
relative.
to us?
You're
Good
relative.
old,
Yeah.
good old Einstein. I'm not your relative.
He better not be a relative. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know who would be the craziest one, because as much as Joel is silly and wacky and all of the stuff that we talked about in the definitions of those words, I don't think you're the craziest.
No.
Like
I
think
Bernd just
I think you're a
randomly
pretty
goes off on
sane
holidays. That's
person.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, I would think Burned is probably up there.
I feel like the way
His
the question
craziness.
is worded, though, he means those words to all mean the same thing.
Yeah. Who is
I
the
don't think
strange?
he
that's
wants to know
that's no
yet.
fun. That's no fun. We don't get to make fun of Bernd that way. That's really
Meanwhile-
important to me.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Joel is sitting here with his tongue out, shaking his head like a hyena in Lion King.
Yeah.
That hyena in Lion King. He's my vote for the most crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know how to answer that one. I think it would be between Bernd and I, but I don't know. Like I don't know. That would be a very hard one. Like the other ones, I don't think are so hard. But I think both Ted and Joel, like they might be silly, but like they're sane people. I feel like there's something in Bernd and I that are just like we're a little bit off the deep end if you really take a look a while to look at it. So, but I don't know. I think we're all pretty sane.
You say that
Overall.
because you don't live with him.
Well, yeah,
we
that's
did
true.
we did have to put up with sleeping in the same room as him.
Your snoring is crazy.
You know what's great? Is our housemate. He snores worse than Joel.
Oh my god.
Uh,
I have an image for that. It involves a dolphin in a lake and a caption that says, "I want to die." You can have it if you'd like. Well, those were our questions for this week. So there you go. There was no other spooky questions, unfortunately.
No, there wasn't,
but,
sadly.
but
No.
I'm
What do
going
you
to
want
ask
to be
you a
for
question.
Halloween?
I was about to ask that.
Ah.
You
Hey.
short-horned, spoopy, stupid. I'm joking. That's a good question.
so you want to be Joel then?
Hey, it's me. I don't have a short horn.
Oh.
Well,
yeah.
Do you guys have answers to those questions? First of all, are you guys actually dressing up as anything?
Tonight?
Probably
No,
not.
probably not.
I'm not tonight.
Not tonight,
It's
tomorrow
Halloween
night.
day.
Halloween
Generally.
tonight.
Oh, it's-
Oh,
it is
yeah, that's a
Halloween
good point.
tonight for you.
That's a good
yeah,
point.
That's right.
Well, tonight,
So I guess-
3 days ago.
I guess for all of us, the answer is no. We're not actually dressing up as anything.
I'm going to
No.
dress up as Pinky, probably. I'm going to put my Pinky costume on.
Mhm.
I've
But,
got a
like,
bunch
what-
of costumes for conventions and stuff. I'm probably going to wear that and give candy to kids.
Yeah. So like, if you had to pick a costume, and you didn't have to make it, you could just have it like delivered to your house for a cheap cost or something like that, and you'd go out and you'd wear it for whatever reason. Like, which one would you do right now?
Master Chief.
Okay.
Joel wants
It's a
to
good
make
answer.
Astro Chief
Yeah,
armor
that is
so
good.
bad.
It's a good answer.
Do though.
Yeah.
We've been making cosplay stuff. We've got the Inklings from Splatoon. We're making costume stuff for them, and it's taking us ages.
I haven't done it.
So if those would just magically be done like tomorrow, that
Right,
would be the
that'd be so
best.
Nice.
I'm sick of working on them.
What about you, Silver? Do you
Hmm.
have anything in particular?
I don't know. Like, if I could choose just to be anything, I would make Joel Stormfly and I would be Astrid.
Aw.
Fair enough.
Nice.
I can't think of it. I feel like for me, when it comes to because I don't think of costumes because I don't really do Halloween, right? So when I think of costumes, I think of a lot of the stuff that like is recent in my life. So like I would dress up as like, I don't know, some sort of weird humanized version of Velvet. Because like that's what's in my mind when it comes to costumes. But I think what would be cool, we're talking about stuff that like doesn't need to be viable or realistic. I would be a Rocket League car. I think that would be really cool, and
I
you could
think
have like
you
a
could
big
pull that
beach
off.
ball to like bounce around. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
With an Xbox
I mean, they have
controller,
like cars
Dragon Ball.
costumes, right?
Yeah. So that's I think that's what I would do. What about
Yeah.
you, Ted?
I was thinking, and I think I would try and do Nux from Mad Max. And I'm guessing that no one else in this call has seen
No.
Mad Max.
No, not at all.
I mean, it was filmed here. and
I
haven't
can
seen it.
Google it for you if you'd like. How do you spell that? N-U-X? I
NUX, yeah.
was expecting there to be a K.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah.
Well, that's certainly something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I really enjoyed that movie, and he was a very redeemed character, and I felt like he had a lot of development, and so I would be him.
According to Google, there's also a video game called Nux, and it looks like a really poorly made claymation game. So you could also dress up as that
Excellent. Yes.
if you wanted to. So, oh man,
So I get my choice between being a war boy and being
or a claymation rocket.
rocket. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You could be both. We can have him in the rocket. All right, Joel. Let's
Let's just do the
move on
plugs.
from the
Okay.
questions.
That'd be
and
really
to the
cool.
plugs.
It'd be like a badly animated cosplay. You just walk around slowly and jerkily. That'd be fun.
Stop motion.
Yeah, that'd be
You'd be like the original Terminator.
Or those people who make themselves look like video game characters. It's like really popular to like cell shade yourself for Borderlands cosplays. And
Oh
stuff.
yeah, I like
Oh,
the
yeah,
Handsome
yeah.
That's
Jack
cool.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are actually.
I want to
really
do a
fun.
body paint cosplay at least once in my life.
That'd be cool. You could be what's
be
your face
Cortana.
from?
I could be Cortana, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Master Chief.
No, that wasn't what I was thinking. I was thinking of X-Men.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Mystique.
Mystique.
Yeah.
Mystique. Yeah.
Nah, Mystique's overdone. You never see Cortana.
Yeah.
Let's move on from this topic.
Okay, I'm gonna do the plugs. Everybody sit down and listen up.
Make sure you do the plugs into the microphone, please.
Okay. We have a few places you can find us. It's picado.tv/Cutie Art Crusaders. We have cutieartcrusaders.deviantart.com. cutieartcrusaders@gmail.com is our email address. youtube.com/cutieartcrusaders where you can find all our videos. cutieartcrusaders.tumblr.com. facebook.com/cutieartcrusaders and @cutieartcrusader on Twitter.
Cool.
Yay.
All right. So I have one more thing to talk about this week that I wanted to bring up because it is relevant to our channel recently. We got to sit down and do a special video with John Martin Wong, which people might remember was a former My Little Pony Friendship is Magic animator in season 1 and 2. We got to sit down with him and talk to him about the latest, or as of the time that this is out, the episode that came out 2 weeks ago, which was the one about Pinkie Pie's family. He was the original animator of Pinkie Pie's family when they did the flashback in season 1, and so it was he became very attached to the characters, and so he wanted to come on, kind of give his perspective of how the characters have aged, what their designs were like, share some stories about what he had done back in the day, and so yeah, we sat down with him. Bernd and I sat down with him a few days ago, and we recorded a little 40-minute thing. I think of it kind of like as an extra special spoiler cast as we go over the episode, but this time with people that actually matter. An animator from the show, or a former animator from the show himself. So it was a really, really interesting conversation. I would highly recommend you tune into that. You can find it on our YouTube channel, which, as Joel just mentioned, is youtube.com/Cutie Art Crusaders. And so check it out there. And we hope you guys enjoyed it, because I know that I personally enjoyed recording it very much. And other than that, we are basically all done this week.
We will probably have a spoiler cast. I won't be on it, and I probably won't be editing it.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I can't be on it either.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be Joel and Silver for the spoiler cast.
Yeah.
We've already seen the episode. This is the one that got leaked.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it got leaked.
You
So
guys could
yeah.
go record it right after this.
So if you're on the stream, then it'll come up right after this. If you're not, then you can of course go to our YouTube channel and check out the spoiler cast for that as well. So yeah, that's the end of this episode. I wanted to take the opportunity again to thank Silver for coming on, and thank you especially for these adorable avatars that you keep making for us.
You're welcome.
What's your DeviantArt?
It's very cute.
My DeviantArt is SilverRainclouds@deviantart.com.
Cool. Well, we'll make sure to put that up on the screen for you. I want to thank, even though she couldn't be here, Naza Goring for attempting to be here. We're sorry that you couldn't make it. Yeah.
We'll
have
work
her
out
on
the issues
sometime.
and get you back.
Totally. But you know that Australian internet is. You know personally how that Australian internet is.
If she would have been here, there'd have been more Australians than not.
It's true. It's true. There also would have been more girls than boys. Don't try to work out that math. Let's just scroll through it. And so yeah, that is everything for this week, guys. Thank you guys for watching, whether or not you're on the live stream or on YouTube. We love you all the same. My name is Rainbow Plasma.
I'm Photograph317.
Apple Sport.
And I'm SilverRainclouds.
And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.